Hey everyone, this is Namrita here with our afternoon workout review today. We are reviewing the VO2Max 40-20 micro intervals again. And so hopefully you watched Coach Tim's review. I am actually going to review Tracy, who did the workout outdoors with power. So a little bit different of a review. Things are, as we know, never as perfect as they can be inside when we do structured intervals indoors. So a good review, I think, for you to see. The other thing is Tracy just raced this past weekend. She did the Cedar Blitz gravel race. So she hasn't tested her FTP yet, but look, she raced Saturday, did 3.5 hours on Sunday. She rode 2 hours yesterday, and then she actually rode a little bit extra today. So she's been doing a bunch of riding, not a lot of recovery. And she also actually posted in the group and she said that she had tired legs going into today, but she really enjoyed the workout. So this workout's awesome and it has a lot of benefits. If you read the workout preview, we're trying to achieve more time, accumulate more time at or near your VO2 max or your maximal aerobic capacity. And so the micro intervals where you're going really hard for 40 seconds and easy for 20 seconds and alternating that is a really good way to get you to accumulate time near your VO2 max without doing steady or continuous intervals where, let's say, you're going for 4 or 6 minutes straight as hard as you can, basically. So let's click on the workout. She got it green, which is great. Look at the planned TSS was 82 for 1.5 hours, and for 1.5 hours, Tracy actually did 101 TSS. So that tells us that compared to the workout, the structured workout that was in there with the targeted zones, she actually did significantly more work. You can look at the intensity factor. It was planned as 0.74, and she completed her workout at an intensity factor of 0.82. So we know she went hard. So obviously her tired legs didn't impact her too much. Let's look at it. I clicked to analyze. So now we can see the workout here. We've got the workout in the background. So she got the timing basically perfectly. You can see everything's in its place with the warm-up, the intervals, the recovery interval, and then the post-interval endurance time. So you can also see the planned workout targets with the blue blocks here. She really surpassed those targets. And that's what we wanted you to do, not necessarily surpass them, but not use them and be confined by them. You can also see that not each 40-second interval was exactly the same power. And that's good. That's, one, we want you to go off feel. Hard is hard for these. So hard is going to be relative to the day. Not everyone's 40-second power target is going to fit perfectly in this blue box here. So we really don't want you to cut yourself short or sell yourself short and not get the full benefit of the workout by trying to hold back. We want you to go hard. And you can see that, yeah, maybe, for the first set of 6, she went really hard on the first 40 seconds and then dialed it, significantly back on the second one and then went really hard again on the third. So that happens. So one, it just depends how your legs are feeling in that moment. Hard is hard, and that's, going to change from interval to interval, and that's okay. That's normal. It's also less perfect when you're outside. So you have the changing terrain, you've got hills and if you're doing it on gravel, you have even more variables there with the ground. So I honestly think, while we're sacrificing some perfection by not riding inside, it's actually more beneficial to learn how to do these outside. So just roll with the terrain, roll with what you have. Hard is hard, and it doesn't really matter if they're not like perfect. So Tracy, this is very well executed. Clearly your fatigued legs felt pretty good today. And I can see why you enjoyed the workout. So we'll drill in a little bit, but I also want you to look at the recovery intervals. She didn't drop her power target or power down as much as the target wanted her to for the recovery intervals. And then you can also see for this endurance time afterwards, she was definitely over her target zone. Now it looks like Tracy will be retesting her FTP on Thursday. I don't know exactly when your last test was, Tracy, but I know you haven't done it yet for RPI Basecamp. So that being said, I would think if everything goes well for your test, you'll probably test with a higher FTP. If you're testing outdoors using this power meter, because it does look like using the target zones from our structured workouts might be a little bit low relative to where your FTP is set now. So that's great. Let's look at the workout itself. I'm gonna highlight from here to here and press zoom. So now we can see the intervals a little bit closer. I'm actually going to hide the workout now that we know she was above target on all of them. And so again, we can kind of see here, she's higher on some of the intervals, lower on some, but you can tell she went hard for all of them. So she did the workout exactly how she should have. The recovery interval in between basically allows her to regenerate her energy stores to hit it again almost as hard on the second set, right? Like if you compare the first interval from the second set to the first interval in the first set, it's almost just as high. We have sort of a similar pattern. She didn't get as high in the third, but higher on the fourth. So this is really, really well done, Tracy. I can't praise that enough. So let's now look at a heart rate. So we talked about power being an external measurement of the load that you're putting on your system or the stress that your body is undergoing, making power to, during these intervals. But the heart rate is an internal measurement of the strain or the effects that stress has on your body. So heart rate, I can just click show there. It's going to have a little bit of a lag. So let's just look at the second interval here. You can see it takes a while. The power is already up and the heart rate hasn't really had a chance to respond yet. So heart rate is always going to have a little bit of a lag. Same for all of these. You're actually going to see the heart rate look like it's coming down when the hard work is being done because of the lag. The other thing to notice is look at how sawtooth shape the heart rate responses. That's a really good indicator of a high aerobic fitness. Her cardiovascular system is responding quickly and it's also recovering quickly. So as soon as she's getting that 20-second recovery, which is a really short amount of time, the heart rate is already coming down. So that's great. If she were to do more of these or longer sets later in the ride, let's say it was hot out and heart rate might be impacted to the point where it won't come down as much. If she was truly fatigued after this weekend and the race and all that and all her riding going into this, she might not see the heart rate have the quick response that it does. The heart rate might be blunted if she was really that fatigued. So I think, this is evidence of one, that she was feeling pretty good. She could surpass the power targets. Heart rate was responding quickly, and it was also quick to recover. So that's great. She's also very fit. So great job, Tracy, with all your training. You can also see, the heart rate is recovering a little bit in these 20-second effort or recoveries. It doesn't recover to the same degree as it does in these actual recovery intervals here. So here you see the heart rate was actually coming down. Let's unzoom here. Heart rate is coming down, not quite to baseline, but definitely significantly more than it was just recovering a little bit in the 20-second interval. So that recovery period of 5 minutes was sufficient to get her heart rate kind of back down to normal. And again, that's the quicker that happens, that's a good sign of aerobic fitness. Now, because the point of this workout was to, to do 40 seconds at high power. Yeah, but the real point of it is to get you, again, time close to your VO2 max. And so that's like a cardiovascular measurement. So your VO2 max is the maximal amount of oxygen that your body can take in, so breathe in and utilize to make energy. So, breathing it in, it's going through your bloodstream, it's being delivered to your working muscle, and then your working muscle is able to actually get it out of the bloodstream and use it. So these, even though you've got the recoveries here, and the heart rate itself is not really coming down that much. The fact that it's elevated is showing you that the heart is still working hard, even in those recovery intervals, to deliver oxygen. So you're still at a high percent of your VO2 max, for that whole 6-minute effort, even though you're getting the recovery intervals in between. And that's why this is such a great workout. So yes, we do have continuous VO2 max intervals where, we might have you go 4 minutes hard continuously without any breaks, but here you're getting 4 minutes near VO2 max, but in 40-second increments. While your legs are getting a break, your cardiovascular system is obviously still working hard to pump blood and deliver oxygen. So really beneficial workout, also a lot of fun. I think people always seem to like this workout. It's a good time. So last thing I want to look at is the cadence. Now, we talked about power being a measurement of the external stress on the body. Heart rate is an internal measurement of the strain in response to the stress. Well, cadence is how you can manipulate you can manipulate power with cadence, but you can also manipulate the heart rate response with cadence. And so if I show cadence here, it's going to get a little crowded. So what I'm going to do is highlight this again, zoom in. So you can see a little bit better now. You can see when she's doing the 40 seconds hard, her cadence is actually increasing. I'm going to hide power so I can see this better. So her cadence is high, which is good. That's what we want when you don't have that long to get up to speed. So high cadence, will drive the power up quickly, and it will also drive the heart rate up quickly. And then when she's recovering, she's letting her cadence drop, sometimes more than others, but with a higher cadence, your heart rate will be higher. So it's more of a cardiovascular load versus lower cadence, bigger gear stuff. You can produce a lot of power with more stress, or more of the load is off, into your muscle versus in your cardiovascular system. So, you kind of can tell when you're spinning up something steep or doing high cadence intervals, your heart rate will shoot up. That's because for the same power, your heart rate is higher because of the faster cadence versus slower cadence, bigger gear, same power is not going to have as much impact on elevating your heart rate. So that's just something we will be thinking about as we do some more intervals throughout base camp, is how we are using cadence to manipulate the body's response to the power output, or the internal strains response to the external stress of power. Okay, so I guess that's all I have for today, but Tracy, again, fantastic work. Glad you have an outdoor power meter now, and I think you'll actually enjoy training a lot more than you did with just heart rate alone. So great job, and we will see you at the next workout review on Thursday. All right, take care.